Hello, my name is Emma. I have anxiety and OCPD. In this video, I wanted to talk about independence because it's really hard to become independent when you have anxiety since it holds you back from living your life most of the time. Plus, in a few weeks, I'll be going to university for my first year, so I'm excited for that, and I'm just really in the school kind of university panic mode right now, even though it's still like 2 weeks away. But I felt like doing something related to the subject would help me kind of get into the video a little bit more. Because independence is definitely related to university as it involves like adulting or growing up. I think independence can mean different things depending on what anxiety disorder you are relating it to, because, for example, social anxiety, it's not about not having people around or in your life, it's more like not being overwhelmed by judgments or ideas of other people and not letting that hold you back. Separation anxiety disorder, I made a video on this, and I did talk about independence a fair bit in that, so I will link that below and at the end of this video if you want to check it out. Independence in that sense would mean separating yourself from the person and trying to like live a little bit more without them. It's about doing more things by yourself than you would have normally, so you can learn how to trust and rely on yourself. And just anxiety in general, so like panic disorder or generalized anxiety disorder. The goal is basically to move on from your anxiety, and you kind of have to do that yourself. You can get help from other people like therapists or friends or whatever, but at the end of the day, as irritating as this is, I know I hate hearing the phrase even, but you're the one who has to make the change, because a lot of the steps to make you into a more independent person are also the steps you have to take to overcome a lot of your anxiety. A lot of mental illnesses have to do with the idea of control. Like eating disorders and addictions, for example, commonly the person's life is so chaotic that they feel that they can't control it, they go to something that they can control, what they put in their body. With anxiety disorders, though, a lot of people feel the need to control things, which is why a lot of the times they're afraid of the unknown or need to be prepared and know like absolutely everything or as much as they possibly can before going to do something or doing anything new, which is why we don't like surprises either, because we can't control what will be coming out of them and we don't know exactly what's going to happen. But if we can take this idea, this need for control, and use it to control what you can in your life, control the good things. I feel like control is too strong of a word though. It's more like you have the power. You can improve your life. You can change for the better. Put your controlling needs into something that will help you. Control what you can about your life in the way that you want to live it, and free yourself from what you can't so nothing like holds you back, so the anxiety won't hold you back. I'd much rather work on my own, but also if it's like a big scary project and I'm not really sure what I'm doing, I like to have people around so I can depend on them more if I'm like not sure what to do or just like emotionally depend on other people. So it's kind of been a process through my whole life of trying to become more independent by facing my anxiety, and especially at this point in my life when I'm 17 years old, very close to turning 18, very close to being in university, it's the time where I need to be independent in order to do important life things. It doesn't happen overnight. For most people it happens naturally. For people in this time period or with the life events that happen, it kind of changes them and forces them to become more independent so they can sustain themselves. It's the same idea and the same process for people with anxiety too, but often they don't get there until later than everyone else does. So instead, us people with anxiety must be actively trying to do things, like letting those life events change us into the people we need to become. It happens naturally if you let it, but anxiety blocks a lot of things from happening smoothly or from you just living your life, because as you know, even simple things can be extremely overwhelming. That's why it's important that we have the mindset of keep moving forward and trying things on our own, like going out more, even with friends. Like it doesn't have to be all by yourself, just doing more things like with your life. That sounds really dumb, but that's kind of what you have to do. You have to let yourself live and do the things you want to do despite your anxiety. And it doesn't necessarily happen all at once. Like, there's steps that you can take to slowly get closer to doing the things you want to do, but as long as you're pushing yourself and like actively, like having it in your mind that it's a goal, it's something that you want to do, easier to just ignore people and not even bother trying, but you have to make sure that you are trying all the time, which sucks and it's super hard, but it's how you get there. Because of all these new things that we have to experience, we learn from them. So we kind of have like new knowledge that we can apply to other situations in our lives later on. So it just like progressively makes us smarter. It's more of a natural kind of in the back of your brain thing, unless you're doing some seriously deep like intrapersonal reflections, which you totally can do and I would recommend, although I'm sure as an overthinker, as most people with anxiety are, you probably already do that way too much, so like keep it to a minimum. But it is good to see the progress you've made and how it applies to your life. Maybe I'm just a psychology nerd, so that's why I like to examine myself, but it can help you learn even more and apply more. I think independence has a lot to do with who you are as a person, and that can also impact how you become more independent. Your identity, composed of your values, your beliefs, goals, like the things that are important to you, they're important because it gives you an understanding of who you are, which is important because independence. If independence has a lot to do with being yourself and being alone and doing things on your own terms, then it would make sense to understand who you are, which is also why this time period is a lot about the coming of age, the personal growth. It's just kind of like all the things you collect from your experiences that shape you into who you are. It ties in a lot with self-love and confidence. When I figure out how to be confident, I'll let you know so I can make a video on it. I really need to figure it out for university, and I'm kind of scared because that's like the thing holding me back from being more social and making friends and talking to people, is that like I love myself, I'm fantastic and I know I'm fantastic, but it's just the confidence that comes with that I haven't quite figured out how to integrate so I can talk to people and feel good about myself in every situation. Like even when I have anxiety, like kick it out of the way and be like, nah man, I'm cool. I think the confidence aspect is more like the thinking kind of area, and then the independence is like the physical action outcome. Being confident and then independent also makes you kind of into more of a strong person, like a resilient person. You've experienced a lot, been through a lot, and you've turned that experience into something that is helpful for you. And it also gives you the leader sort of mindset because you are you and you don't care about what other people think. In conclusion, the things you can do to help you become more independent are: open your mind to new ideas and trying new things. Persist. Continue trying new things all the time, or as much as you can. And develop life experiences by doing new things. Work on yourself. That's my video. Don't know if this was helpful at all, so sorry if it wasn't. I thought it was a good idea though. So, thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.